My top priorities at Boise Cascade is ensuring that our safety teams and our leadership have all of the tools they need to help our employees stay safe at work. The introduction of technology in that space has helped us tremendously by reducing the administrative burden that it takes to take all of those inputs from hazard identifications to near misses and do the trending automatically. Beginning with AI, we're starting to see a bunch of advantages in using it to collect data that we would not otherwise have. For example, Intenseye has been a great partner because we have a limited ability to get behavioral data because it takes a person to see something, report it accurately, and then that become collated data we can use to make informed decisions on how to change things in our safety process. With the use of like a visual AI like Intenseye, we can get the information we need about the behaviors that are going unreported and help the individuals with coaching events, but then also give us better insight into the data that allows us to see the true trends, that allows us to give the difference between work as planned and work as performed. We make sure that when we're doing that, we don't call out any individual employee in front of the group, but we just talk about the trends and we help put in place other control measures that might increase compliance with what we think are the best behaviors for keeping people safe. I actually, when I started my safety career, was punching out manual spreadsheets on data analytics in Lotus 123, if you can remember that program, and trying to find ways to trend what was our top opportunities for the people I was working with then. The automation of that data and the automation of that data analytics is going to be key to anybody who's trying to, work in the safety space. When you're changing behavior, information has a timestamp and it's perishable. You have to get it out to the people so that things can get fixed before someone gets hurt. The longer that lag is, the more exposure you have and the less effective your implementation will be. So challenges on getting that administrative burden pushed down to its lowest point so you can get more done with the resources that you have, and then the speed at which that data is processed and turned from data to actionable intel is probably the two biggest challenges in tech. I think the main challenge that we're going to be able to address with this is the reduction in the administrative burden. I mean, it's always a battle in safety over time and treasure. So the less time we have people behind the keyboard trying to manually analyze data, the more time we can have them out on the floor making relationships with our employees, actually affecting their behavior on the workforce. I think when we start asking ourselves, how are our training efforts or our exposure reduction efforts actually showing up on the work floor? When we can go and immediately ask those questions through Chief, it can analyze the data in real time at that point. That'll help us either adjust our approach as we go forward or see if we need to retool and to focus on a different area. I think Chief is going to help us a lot because as we try and emphasize more of the leading indicators, that is a time-sensitive observation that we need to get into the analysis. By being able to have those things recorded in Intenseye and then accessed through Chief and even correlated with some of the audits that we have loaded up on the threads, we'll get that a lot easier in real time, day to day. I think one of the things we need to do as safety professionals is continue to look for ways we can evolve the profession, and that involves taking risks. It involves dealing with things that we're not usually dealing with or not comfortable with. AI is a new and emerging technology. It is something that, like any new and emerging technology, is going to have some a learning curve attached to it. If you are a safety professional and you're looking for a way to get a better handle on your data becoming actionable information, if you're looking for a way to reduce your administrative burden by having as much automation as possible, then you really have to start getting into the AI space and seeing what it can do for you in your operations. Again, the instant feedback on data analytics using up-to-date real-time information is key to behavioral change. I think using the Chief is going to force us to start looking at how we ask questions differently, and it's always going to give us a better insight, and it's going to force us to learn to look at data in a new, different way, which again, much like a cold eyes review, will give us data that we may not have had or insights that we may not have had just using our traditional methods. EHS people might be concerned about in the tech space. I would say this, traditionally, EHS personnel have had a difficulty adopting a non-human intervention to safety, because again, that is what's been the driver of our profession for a very long time. My message to all of us safety folks are, don't be afraid of technology, all right? There is no reason for us not to, as a profession, embrace what they can do with technology that we have been struggling to do with our human systems so far. But you will never be as good with what you've had previously than what you can be now with the advantages that tech will give us. It gives you better speed into data analytics. It gives you better insight into what's happening. And it's something that will help your people be safer if you embrace it properly.
I would say positive about the strict vision or the goal what Huhtamäki was setting themselves, having 0 accidents by 2030. And then I thought how to get to this 0, because getting to 0 it's quite tough, not unrealistic. And therefore I think we now have a few years time to get to this 0. You need to have a ton of data. And how to get data is utilizing technology. Technologies like AI can definitely support the EHS function, because with the data, those systems like Intenseye and et al. AI software really can help creating data and providing the way forward.
And which takes us into the Chief, I think. I think you had an intro about what it is, but we're trying to come up with a SafetyGPT program.
Exactly.
That can help you with analyzing the data, because it is a complex data.
The question I raised to your team a few months ago was, because they asked me, how would you like to use the Chief or SafetyGPT? And then I mentioned, I would like to ask them, hey, Chief, where are my risks in the facility, and how can I would say, do actions, or what kind of actions I need to do to reduce the risks? And this question usually I would like to enter in such a system, and then the system should give me a kind of ideas. I personally see impacting Chief the workflows or the EHS workflows at Huhtamäki in a positive way, because it reduces the way of gathering data, it reduces the way of drawing your own tables. It simply gather the data for you and draw the table, for example, and it provides you a recommendation. So it gives you a kind of a basic understanding where is your risk and what you should probably consider to reduce the risk. Now you have the beauty that you have a 24/7 near-miss reporting by an AI, and you have the data. Now you can visualize the data. Now you can also interact with the employees in a different way. The Chief module of Intenseye would support us in, first of all, harvesting the right data and getting a kind of a value out of the data in a short time. And it also would help to support finding conclusions. So to me, Chief is something which goes in parallel to an EHS leader on site. The system gives you an idea when you ask, for example, the question, where do you think most likely the next accident will happen? And then you get an overview. Where are your lowest safety scores? And then the system will give you a recommendation how to phrase countermeasures. And you also hear what your customer are requesting, which is great. With regards to AI in general, I would say that AI in general will definitely transform the way of how an EHS function is working. And this is the normal development of the normal way things are going, because if we would do things like we did 20 years ago, we would not be maybe as productive or as safe as we right now. So therefore development is highly appreciated, and therefore I think utilization of AI in general in modern manufacturing environments is definitely needed and highly appreciated. And to me, in 2030 this will be normal. So nobody will will question it anymore. It will be integral in the EHS community because it gives you so many opportunities, it gives you so many data points, and this is at least what is needed to make all the risk analysis, to see the risk and to reduce the risk and to ensure nobody get harmed.